Ever wonder what your photographer is doing before photographing your wedding day? Well, I'm not just charging batteries, let me tell you. Definitely doing that and charging my Polaroid and making sure my batteries are good and set for my film camera. But here's also what I'm doing before I photograph your wedding. Pre-wedding consults. So typically not only do you just reach out via email or DM or whatever, but then the next piece of that, of you booking with me, is I'm gonna call you up or I'm gonna text you or I'm gonna send you a voice memo and be like, yo, what up, I'm Jaybird. Here I am, Jaybird Photography. And then I'm gonna see if you wanna schedule coffee, if you wanna get lunch, if it's better if we Zoom or if you're a phone call kind of girly. And then we're gonna talk about all the details that you currently have at that time and make sure I'm available for your wedding date on my Maker Planner. Whenever I meet with my couples, I'm doing it so I can see a few things. One, our energy that's super candid together and making sure it's authentic and that we're vibing. But two, that you're heard, that you're seen, that you can show me your outfits that you picked out, your colors. We can collab on your Pinterest board together. Just basically getting all the details and things that are most important to you on your wedding day. Because there's this question that I ask, and it's, you're hiring a wedding photographer, and there's a picture you have in your mind that you just have to get, or else you're gonna be like, why the f did I hire a wedding photographer? So that's what I'm here for, to get that picture that in 10 years, you're gonna be like, I'm so glad I hired a wedding photographer. It's also gonna get me a sense of your vibe of wedding day. Like, are you looking for paparazzi that's just a little wallflower girly to take your picture, capture memories, or do you want me to step in and boss people around, put them in groups? Do you want me getting cocktail hour photos with my second photographer and having them pull people and be like, hey, let me get a photo of you, hey, let me get a photo of you, which I highly recommend. We also go over your shot list, but this is about a month before your wedding's out, not an initial call. But you do typically have, like, this is what time our ceremony's gonna be. We can look up, like, on this app that I have, it's called Coming Light, and it tells me exactly where the light's gonna be at what time, what hour of the day, where at, what day, what location, the works. Yeah, we will talk about, like, what you want on the wedding day, kind of the order of events if you do already have that, but we'll finalize that closer and talk about, like, bridal shot detail checklist, which I have a guide for that, and it just basically tells you like what a flat lay is, what kind of details to include, but that's again later on. That's also when we'll go over the timeline. So typically that's when the planner joins the call, sometimes the videographer, and we have another hour call like a month before your wedding, sometimes two. Sometimes that's just me and your planner on that one. We also talk about like where on the property you're going to be doing photographs. So do you want your family portraits that are formals down at the end of the altar? Do you want to do your couples portraits at the end of the altar? Do you want your officiant behind you whenever you're being kissing at the end? Do you want to have a grand exit into your reception? Do you want to have a grand exit into your recessional? All these things we're going to talk about, and I'm going to start getting your cogs turning and asking questions. Like, are you wanting a grand exit? Are you wanting a last dance? I don't recommend faux exits anymore because that's kind of like, but I have seen people also, because it's like starting the next part of the party, you know what I mean? So it's like, okay, it's into reception, grandmas leave, kids leave, and nobody feels like they're missing out on anything. We'll also talk about like backup plans for weather. That's more of like your event planner thing, that like what if they're gonna fix it and stuff, but like, do you want me to bring umbrellas? Are you cool with having these places inside and doing your photos inside? Basically, it's just like everyone has expectations and knows what to expect, because like happiness equals expectation minus reality. So what we're expecting to happen, and whenever it does happen that way or doesn't happen that way, that's gonna be our happiness level. So if we have expectations of, yes, Jalen knows that I'm walking down the aisle with my dad, it's gonna be traditional, we're doing a lighting ceremony at the end of the wedding or whatever, we're signing our wedding license during the ceremony, like I need to know these things so that I can know where to place myself to capture them for you. Especially like the wedding license that I've seen people sign during the ceremony, because nobody can see, like they're looking at your back. So sometimes I'll get to the other side and just offer a different perspective than your guest are receiving. But that's also why it's nice to have a second photographer, is because they can be like your guest perspective. I'll also just like, you know, post some things like, do you want to do a boudoir while you're getting ready? Do you guys want to get ready together? Are we getting ready separately? And just kind of find out the dynamic of the day too. So it's really important to meet, or at least have like a good amount of time communicating with your photographer, just so they're not showing up for the first day and being like, are you my bride? So not only are you booking a wedding photographer on your wedding day, but you're like booking somebody to consult with you about colors, to tell you, hey, make sure your wedding veil, if you're doing satin white, that you get a satin white veil. Like, you don't want your colors off-putting, you don't want mixed lighting, and like, these are things that you shouldn't have to think about. So hire a professional so you're not worried if a family member or a cheaper friend is like going to be doing these things for you. There are some good friend photographers out there. I'm just saying, like, let them enjoy the wedding day with you. I'm here to help prepare and plan, make sure your memories are covered from start to finish, to help curate ideas and make things fruition seamlessly and be captured in a beautiful way for you. If you like this peek behind the curtain, go ahead and hit like and subscribe, and see you next time. Thanks for listening to Jaybird Photography from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Be in San Diego, California a lot too. Catch me there in the fall. Peace out, Girl Scout.